uh, I noticed that we have yet to have more participants, but I think in a 2 minutes time, we'll start hoping that some more will join by then. Uh, So just give me 2 minutes before we start the program. They have traveled to various parts of the world. And as I was seeing that in Poland, they came almost in the 15th century, so which is almost 600 years back. So we, through this lecture series, we are trying to reach out to Romas of different countries because there are certain issues or challenges which Roma face across the world, but it varies from country to country. Though we are aware that European Council and European Parliament have been trying to take up measures to improve the situation of Roma in Europe, and there are similar measures in other parts of the world. But through your lectures and through your presentation, we come to know of not only the historical travel to that particular country and the condition in the historical sense, but also the current situation and how the governments over there and how the EU strategic framework has really helped the Roma community. Today, we are lucky to have an important person from Poland who is who is well versed with the situation of Romas, not only in Poland but across the world, being part of the International Romani Union, where he is the vice president, and he also is the vice president of the vice president of the Central Roma Council in Poland. In Poland, I understand the numbers of Roma community may not be very high as compared to certain countries where they constitute almost 8 to 10% of the total population. But again, one is not aware of the actual figures because the census figures may not reflect the truly the numbers of Roma in different countries. And today we really look forward to understand the situation of Roma in Poland through the lecture which is titled Historical Outline of Roma in Poland, which I believe will cover the historical movement of Roma as well as their current situation and their challenges. Through these inputs from you all, we believe that this will help us to understand you better and also look for ways to reach out and see how we can cooperate in different ways to improve the situation and create a right environment for the Romas in India also, because the knowledge of Roma in India is also very limited. So through these monthly lectures and as well as newsletter, which we issue every fortnightly, we are trying to create greater awareness about Roma brothers and sisters across India. With this words, now I'll request Zameer to briefly introduce our speaker of today, Mr. Karol Kwiatkowaski. I presume I'm pronouncing it correct because sometimes I'm not certain whether it is correct pronunciation.
It's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Zameer, so now the floor is yours to introduce Mr. Karol Kwiatkowaski.
Thank you very much, sir. And I welcome and thank you all to the 20th virtual. As sir mentioned, today our speaker is Karol Kwiatkowaski. He is a very prominent and overwhelmingly committed to the Roma cause, not only in Poland but across Europe. As our chairperson mentioned, he is a vice president of the International Romani Union and a vice president of the Central Roma Council in Poland. He is also the member of sector protection at the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, for Ukrainian refugees of Romani origin. Mr. Karol has been involved in the education and economic economic integration of Roma for the last 17 and 18 years. And he is a co-author of many studies and research studies and reports on the education and employment of Roma uh, in Poland as well as other parts of Europe. He is also an expert of European Roma and Traveler Forum at the Council of Europe. So today, the topic of the discussion addresses the different aspects, including history, culture, values, and identity of Roma community. I think Carol speech will address all these aspects. And as our chairperson Sachdeva sir mentioned about the certain figure of Roma, not any certain figure of Roma in Poland, yeah, but there are some non-governmental organizations which have purported that around the 50,000 Roma living in the Republic of Poland. That is the non-official. Uh, uh, that is the non-official data. Uh, so, but the situation, the Romani people suffer mostly from severe social and economic exclusion that differ greatly from the contemporary living standards of Roma people. The majority of Roma in Poland are confronted with severe unemployment in the sense of higher insecurity, numerous health issues, and enormous cultural distinction. And the non-Romani people in Poland identifies Roma based on their folklore, stereotypes, in which the colorful dresses of women, music, the language, and the dance, these play the very key role, the very important and key role. It shows the mindless stereotypes and the deep prejudices against Roma in Polish society. Attitudes of majority population in Poland towards Roma, such as denial and hatred, have been a reason for the Roma to reject and remain reluctant towards the non-Roma world. Institutions like the schools, administrations, police, and courts, they uh, they pose a threat to the Roma integrity and identity rather than giving a chance for better life and development and prosperity and inclusion of Roma community in the mainstream society. It is also true that not only in Poland, but across the Europe and across the world, the Roma communities are greatly diverse with regard to economic situations and earnings of most of the families, which are considered catastrophically low, especially in a Polish society, and other part of the countries, especially the Central European countries and the Eastern European countries as well. 80% of Roma community in Poland living in poverty and penury, especially the Carpathian Roma. That uh, they are one of the first groups of Roma to migrate to Poland during 15th century, and they migrated mostly from the territories of the Kingdom of Hungary and the Principality of Transylvania, and and their traditional occupations are like ironsmithing and music. And there are some programs and policies drafted and implemented by the Republic of Poland, and therefore the Roma get some social assistance, including permanent allowances and the single purpose allowances from the government of Republic of Poland. However, the reality is otherwise. They face a lot of difficulties in receiving and unable to receive such allowances. Instances of receiving systematical financial help from the government, and that financial help aids the entire family's budget, which are very rare, very low. So there are the different, there are a lot of issues in the field of education and the employment and the housing and, like educations. As I don't want to go further because we have a very expert and a very prominent and eminent speaker today, and we are very much interested in listening to him. And I am sure that his speech and his lecture will enlighten us with the ground realities and the exact situations of Roma community in Poland. So, Carol, we are very much interested in listening to you. Now, I request our chairperson, Rajesh sir, to proceed this lecture officially. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the nice words about my person, and thank you for this, and thank you that I can make some speech about the situation of Roma here in Poland. Yes, that's all true what you say before about the problems, but if I can start about something about the culture, because for us Roma is very important, our culture, and that is the people that have no knowledge about our culture, and we must show them the really what is our culture, because the stereotypes we have not only in Poland, but I think that is similar in all of Europe, all of the world, about the Roma situation are the most problem that Roma have, and we don't accept the situation, and that's not really true. If you can, Zameer, enter my presentation, then I will be glad. Welcome you all. Thank you for being here. Welcome some old friends. Orhan, welcome. Nice to see you again. Then I very thank you that you are here with us. And if you can please
Yes.
start
Yeah.
the presentation.
Surely, I'll share your presentation I have.
Yes, maybe another slide, please. We'll talk about the situation, about the culture, what important is for Roma to know, to show the other perspective of our culture, and science, the theory of Erickson was that it's very important that how we are feeling with ourselves and how we're feeling in our group, that's very important for each one of the group. And for Roma is the same, that for us is very important how we are seeing about the people in our group and how we feel it with our culture together. It's very important thing. Maybe the next slide, please, Zameer. What is the culture for human behavior? That's a personality. That's very important that no each of one have the same personality. Someone is more open, someone is more close. And you know, when you are live on Roma, and when you don't have any experience about the situation of other culture, you only know the Roma culture, and that's the reason you often don't know that even another culture exists. That is some situation that you are in this. When right now I am making the training for you, the presentation for you, we're in the same level. And that's much more easy to act and to do some work with you. But the difference is when you are in the small village in Poland, for example, and you want help for the government, then the government don't see your potential. They don't know what they don't feel really that you have some culture, and that's a big problem. What the culture are? There are some norms and there's some values. That's not similar for each of culture. We have some other norms, like in the Polish culture, like in the Swedes culture, I don't know, in the Dutch culture. The norms are a little bit different, but the people don't know that the culture are different like them. We have a strange culture, and that's very important to show the people that the culture for Roma is very important. We have all culture have some behavior scripts. We know how to act, but in our culture, we don't know how to do it in another cultures. When we are in other peoples like in Poland, we don't know how to act because we have our scripts and we know how to say hello, how to say goodbye. And it's different like we do in Europe. We don't shake hands here in Poland. In our culture, we say hello, but we don't shake hands. So that's very different about the European culture. And some people who see the situation, they don't know what's happened right now. The communication style, that's very important. Sometimes people say that Roma people are lying. That's not lying, that's a difference about communication. We don't say directly what we mean. We say that in another words, but often we are very don't good understand what we mean because we have another style of communication like people in Poland. That's normal. We don't I don't want to show that the culture of Roma is better or worse. That is the same like Polish culture, but the difference are you know not knowing that people don't have the knowledge that in other culture that some behavior are standard and another that's some faux pas. Maybe Zameer the next about the stereotype because that is very important. In Poland, and the next, please. Maybe the next. In Poland, we have some problems with stereotypes. I think that's the problem in whole of the Europe that the Roma communities are seeing very badly, and we have some in the language some stereotypes how gypsy, not Roma, how gypsy are showing. The gypsy are the thieves, they are stealing things, and that it's very discriminate for us Roma. But we have that's in the other products of material culture. We have this in the paintings, we have this in the songs, we have this with the opera, with the novellas, with the poems. In each of the material culture things, we are the Polish people, the Polish artists show Roma like not good person. That is a very discriminate type of showing our people, our community, and that is a very bad start for the cooperation for the two nations. You know, when you always see the bad Roma people in the material culture, that is a very problematic start for Roma. I think that's not only the problem in Poland, that's the problem in each of the countries. But it's very important that we talk about the stereotype because he exists, that he is very strong, and the people don't have knowledge about the true situation of Roma. They only take the knowledge from the stereotype they have from the families, from the TVs, from the material culture, and that's the big problem for our community. If you can, Zameer, please take another slide. Hello, can you Zameer? Another, please. Yes, that's it. Another step, right? Criminal image of Roma in medias. That's very very scary, to be honest. How media and how the Polish community shows Roma in the public. That's very very sad story for us, and they have no knowledge about the true situation of our people. Is the next slide, Zameer? Yes, for us, we have some elements of our culture and Roma tradition, and it's very important for us. We're a very proud nation, and the history is very important for us. But the history was very hard for Roma people, and in Poland, you know the Second War and the big problems, historical problems about Roma, how many Roma was murdered here in Poland, and we Polish Roma remember the hard history of our nation, and for us we must make some education at schools, and we don't have the programs here in Poland about the Roma history, about the Roma Holocaust, Roma murder repentance. That is a big problem for us, because our kids must have the knowledge. Our traveling makes some important issues in our history, because if you are traveling, you are taking some of the other culture, about some other languages in your own. And in this moment, we see the very close. We are very close to India in our tradition, in our culture, and I will show what are similar in our two cultures, and that's very important. That so many centers we are gone from India, but we have very close connection. I feel so, that we are very similar to our brothers and sisters in India, and that's very important for us. The language was and is very important for our culture and tradition, because if you know, the Romani language is one of the oldest language in the world, and right now about 7 or 8 million people talk in this language. And for Roma like me, Roma in Poland, that is very important that that we have our language, and we try to teach our kids the language, because that's one of very important element of our culture. We have some inside codex, that's mean Romani Pen, who is very important for Roma here in Poland. And that's to be honest, our life. That's always we see and we remember what Romani Pen says about something, and that's very important for us. But that's not like a stopper for be a European or be a good human being. That's something what's very we are very proud about, that we have our rules. Our manners are, not known by the other people, and for us that is very important. And I said before, we have our values that's very important for us, and that's a little bit different about the European culture, and that's.
Hello.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, good evening, sir. Lakshmi बात कर रही हूँ, टाटा कैपिटल फाइनेंस से। आपके अर्बन क्रूजर पे एक ऑफर आया था सर लोन का, तो
Sorry, but I don't hear that what you Ashok.
Sorry. Now you can continue. You can carry on. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Actually, there was someone who was talking. I muted. No problem. Sorry.
Okay. Then maybe Zameer, the next slide, please. Yes, and we have some Roma groups here in Poland, and it's very important that the Roma in Poland have like a caste, like big families, and it's very important from what family you are. You are more traditional or not so traditional. We have 4 groups of Roma here in Poland. That's are the Bergitka Roma, how you say, before Zameer, the Zakarpatcy Romowie. And we have the Polish Roma, we have the Kalderasha and Łowary group, and we have the Russian Roma here in Poland. And all the groups have the similar culture, but they are different about a little bit the language. Some groups are more assimilate like the others. And my group, who I am representing, the Polish group, and they are the most traditional group here in Poland. What is interesting is that that we are the group who is the most traditional, but we don't. We are. I think most of us don't have problems in economy, but the groups who are assimilate, they have a very big problem with the economy things. They live in small villages, and they have not so good good life in the villages, and the government don't support them enough to make the situation of them better. And that's a big problem here in Poland, that some people live, I think maybe that is too hard word, but like in the ghetto, you know, and that's very scary for us. And we try to act and to try to help the people, but the situation is not getting better year by year, and that is very problem about this situation. That's, I think that in India you have the same thing. You have groups of people that's similar. The hierarchy is very important here in our lives, because we do much more respect about our eldest people, and for us they are something like a knowledge for the future centuries. And that's I think very similar like in India, that you give the respect to your people who are very important to you too. And that's in our culture. That's very important, that you must have the hierarchy, and each one knows what do you mean about it. We have some division of rules about men and women's in our culture, but please don't understand me bad. That's not a discrimination about women. We have another rules for them and for the men's, but the men's have their rules and the women's have their rules, and the women's are very important part in the culture here in Poland, and they we very are listening in their voice, because the women's right now are more educated here in Poland, like the Roma men's, and they are they go in a good way, and they are very respect people by the Polish here in Roma and Poland. And I feel that's the similar in each of the countries, that the other culture try to say that the Roma women's are discriminated in the culture, but that's not true. The principles of communication, I told it before, that we have the high context of communication, and we never say something directly to you. If we don't like something, we don't say that directly. We try to do it with our culture, and that's very important, that we don't want to hurt someone, to tell them something bad, and we tell that in other words, and that's very important for us. Maybe Zameer, the next slide, please. Yes, how you say before, here in Poland, we was about 600 years, but that's the first notes about then it was in Krakow. But we don't know really from how many years we are here in Poland. That's only the first document that shows that that we was in this about 600 years before. But to be honest, we should feel how normal Polish people with other culture, but we are here 600 years, but we don't feel that we are so acceptable for the Polish people. We always are something different like them, and that's not the good thing. And all the kind of stories I tell you before, how the medias are showing the Roma people are very scary, because the people in Poland know exactly how many years the Polish Roma are in Poland, and that's very very sad for us that we can not communicate so well. You know, the problem with the stereotype is very big, and I hope that that we can lose the problem about the stereotype with education about the others. But we must educate not only the Polish community, we must educate the Roma community too, to show them that the Polish have the culture too, because the misunderstanding about the culture is very very high. Yes, please, the next slide. And what you said before, yes, please. We are a little bit about in the whole world about 20 millions of Roma people in the world, but in Poland we are a small group, about the 30,000 Roma people who lives in Poland. But in this time the situation is changing, because we have much more Roma refugees from Ukraine who came here from Poland, and we count that could be a little bit about 50,000 people, more like the Roma people. And you know, right now we make some programs for them, how to make them work together, not only with the Polish community, but with the Polish Roma who live in Poland, and how to make some integration, the three groups together. And right now we have a big work to do, and that's we're very glad that we have some support from UNHCR, IOM, and other big international organization, because without the support, that is impossible to do work with all the people, because right now we have very big problems with Roma refugees, with the accommodation, with getting work to do to them. And right now we have focus of the Roma refugees, and try to help them in many issues. And that's very important, that the Roma problem, the Roma refugees problem, is in agenda in the big organization who are fighting for human rights. And that's very important for our organization, from International Romani Union, or for my organization here in Poland, because we want to help, and we want to make the people, the Roma refugees, better, life better here in Poland. Yes, please, the next slide. We here in Poland, is maybe the next slide. We are here in Poland, like I told you before, about 30,000 people. The most group are in some region of Poland, are in Małopolska. There are the Bergitka Roma mostly live, and we have the problem in this region with the villages of Roma. They are very complicated. The people are they discriminate. Kids didn't go to school, and they have not good good status of in this region. That is a big problem. Polish Roma lives in all of Poland, but mostly in Mazowieckie, in the region of Mazowieckie, in the region of Gdańsk and big cities. Often there are big cities. Slovary, Calderacha, they live in the big cities too. And Hrvatska Roma, there is the region of Podlasie and this region of Poland. That is a small group here in Poland. That it's the smallest group here in Poland who lives. All the groups talk in Roma language. Polish Roma, I think that it's 80% they talk about in our language. The problem with Roma language is in the Bergitka Roma, because they are much of them are assimilate and don't live with the Roma culture, and that's very sad for us because they want to come back to the culture, and right now we try to support them to learn them language. There's a similar situation in Spain. The government take the language for the Roma, and right now the people in Spain try to support the language and learn that for new. And the same problem are in this group in our community. Please, Zameer, the next slide. We have some important days, and how you know, the 8th April is the International Roma Day, and that's I'm very happy that International Romani Union was creating this day. We have some organization who right now have a little bit problem, but that was a very important organization, European Roma and Travelers Forum Council of Europe, and that was an organization who was making work by the Council of Europe, and that should be some political voice of Roma in Europe. But for this moment, that's a little bit problematic. The 2nd August, International Roma Extermination Day. I'm very glad because first of all, the Polish Parliament have created this day with cooperation with Roma people, with our organization and the other organization. And first of all, that day was accepted by the Polish government. That was a big success from Roma from Poland, and I'm very glad that I and my organization could work about this process, and the Polish Parliament accept our proposal. The 5th November is International Romani Language Day, and that's a very important day too for us in Poland. International Romani Union, Central Roma in Poland, and Kalisara works together to make the day very important. And Hirveiko Kartazis, Stachiro Stankiewicz, Normut Rudniewicz make very big work to make official this day, and UNESCO accept our proposition, and we have done it, and right now that's registered in UNESCO, and we're very glad that our work is right now going well. And the 5th November is, I hope, in each of European country accept and Roma know about the day and make some work in this day about the language, because the language is very important for for us to be together, to make the culture stronger and make the community more compatible and together and strong. Please, Zameer, the next. Yes, we make in Poland some books or some newspapers to inform Roma about the situation. And you see here Rom Podrom, that's one of the oldest newspaper in Europe and oldest in Poland. They are in two languages, in Polish language and in Romani language. And that is very important because the Roma community have the information about what progress about the Roma situation in Europe are, and you know, and the normal medias, they don't got that information. That's only one newspaper who informed them about the political situation in Europe, how the situation of Roma looks. But we make some books for the kids, you know, to try that they should learn how to read the books and the newspapers and all the things we make for them. On the board here, you see the photo from Mirga Małgosia Mirga-Tas, and she was representing Poland in Biennale in Venice right now. She makes very beautiful paintings, and that was very important that a Roma woman could represent the Polish nation in Biennale in Venice about the art. And please, if you have time, then find this artist, because their paintings are very impressive, and that very interesting. And please see that. This may be the next slide. Yes, what the values about our culture, and that's very important that we have our important things. That's family. Family for Roma community is I think most important thing about the world, and the family in Roma communities are big, are very important. Provision of tradition and culture, that are very important thing. Learning the Roma language, that is one of the most what we want to teach our kids, that is language. Respectful for our older, like you said before, that is very important. Well-being for the whole family, and education, how to be a good Roma, how to be a good thing in the community. This is very important. In good image of Roma, we try to teach all of the things our kids, how to do it, how to be acceptable in our community, and how to be a good person. And that's similarly, I think, in each of culture, that the parents, the grandparents are trying to make their kid to be seeing a good in the community, and for Roma people, that's very important. Please, Zameer, the next slide. That's for the end. We show you some people who are important in culture, and to know all of them know that they are Roma. And I show some politic who works, like Miranda Volunstranda, who is a very important person in Finland, and she was making some problems, like Mr. Dr. Ela Mirga, who is working with Polish government, Andrzej Mirga, Stachiro. But I would like to show you some artists, some football players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who is Roma too, and we must show the other nation, our people, that the knowledge is now that we are not know that they are Roma, like Charlie Chaplin was half Roma and half Jew, and know each one have the knowledge about this situation. Pola Negri was a face of Polish government, like when Polish had the president of the EU. And she was half Roma. Then we must tag the history about the people and show that we are normal people, but we have another culture, but we have some problems that are not our fault, that often are fault about the governments, about the high discrimination in the political in the countries. And many years Roma in Poland was discriminated. They don't have any support from the government, and the situation what the Roma community are in this moment are not their fault, are the fault about the high discrimination of the governments and the not tolerance that our nation has takes. Then thank you so much for listening to me. Sorry for my English, because I know that's not not my best part, but I hope that you had understand me all. And please, you're welcome to ask me something. And thank you that you have been here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Karol, for a very interesting and informative presentation. And your English is perfect. We were able to understand you completely. And now the floor is open for comments or questions.
I'd like to ask one question. First of all, I'd like to thank you. Thank you very much for your very interesting presentation. I'm a specialist in Romani studies in Russia and in post-Soviet countries, and I have only one question. So, because I'm studying history and culture of the Roma in Russia, of the different ethnic groups, and for me it's very interesting. We have Kaladitka Roma too in the northwest of Russia, in Pskov, you see, you know, surely. But my question is, how you, the Roma in Poland, how you as a Polish Roma, how you understand the difference between you and Kaladitka Roma, because you speak, you speak one dialect, but are they people from belonging to other migration group, or why this is a difference between Polish Roma? There is a difference between Polish Roma and Kaladitka Roma. How can you specify that?
Thank you for the question. Yes, we can do it, because for us it's very important to know from what group we are and what group we are representing, and we know the families. When we talk with the people, that's obvious. When we interview ourselves, we talk from what family we are, and that's enough for us to recognize the situation. You know, we are not so big community, and we know each other, and we have contacts together. That's not that only the Polish group lives with the Polish group. You know, we have contacts with the Bergitka Roma, with the Kalderashi, with Powary, with Kawadiczka Roma, and we know who is representing, because we talk about the situation, and it's not problem. You know, when something asks, well, what Roma are you? I tell, yes, I'm Polish Roma. I'm representing this clan. of people, and the same situation are with the Russian Roma. They they talk about it.
Okay, and only one specification. Why do you think Kaladytka Roma are called like that?
Kaladytka Roma are called because they come from the regions of Russia, and and Kaladytka.
This is a Russian name.
Yes, it's the word for Russia.
Thank you very
Not
much.
from police, from Russia. That is
Yeah.
the thing about Kaladytka. Roma, Polish Roma calls them because they come from Russia.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Orhanji.
Mr.
Yes.
Orhan, the floor is yours. Mr. Orhan?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Very good. I like the question of Slavinskaya. I want just to comment. Perfect lecture from Mr. Kwiatkowaski. I liked very much how he spoke about the Polish Roma. And let me comment in this way. It is a time to say in very understandable, very harmonious way that our dialects is a very beautiful harmony of the languages. And our dialects are so well deeped with the roots, with the Hindi, Urdu, and other languages in India. Today, the development of Romani language shows exactly the origin, and all these various names that we have for the dialects are actually a beautiful content that our languages become a modern European language, Indo-European language, and that means that today we really, as Mr. Kwiatkowski said, that we have to work especially on bringing all these issues to our heritage, to our origin from India. Thank you.
Orhan, I will say you so parekiraftu kemirop kuredir pshau paudashu karwava sawe pchenjan parekiraftu ke paudava. I only say in our language, thank you, Mr. Orhan. He's my oldest brother, and thank you for the comments. Thank you for that. Parekiraftu ke javsastoro. And I try to show that Orhan is now a Polish Roma, and we understand each other when we talk in Roma language, and that's not a matter of the dialect. That's a matter if you know Roma language or not.
Yeah,
Great.
Carol, I have one question. Sorry. I have one question out of my curiosity. As you talked about very eloquently about the culture part of Roma. Now you can find that the Roma groups in different countries, they are losing their ethnic cultural heritage. And likewise, the situation is in Poland.
That is always
as the oldest group of Roma, like Carpathian, Kalderish, and Lovara and all. So these Roma, to some extent, those who are poor and those who are at the margin of the society, they hold dear to their values and their traditions and culture. But those who ascend the ladder, the top ladder of the society, or they progress and succeed in their lives, they relinquish their ethnic culture, and they avoid speaking and interacting in Romani language. And as you mentioned about that Roma don't shake hands, it is quite similar in India. We say namaste and namaskar, like we fold hands, but we don't shake hands. You also talked about the cleanliness and uncleanliness. These are the very much, the part of traditional Indian cultural values and traditions. As Mariana talked about, she had a different questions, but she is also expert at the cultural anthropology of Roma community, and we are trying to do some research work on that part. jointly. What you think that the people, the Roma community, they succeed, they lose their ethnic cultural identity, they lose their the cultural practices and values, and the poor who are at margin, they preserve and they hold dear to their culture and traditions. Like in Poland, what is the status? Because I think some people are some people succeeded in the different areas and the different sectors of the society. So what is your take on that?
Thank you, Zameer, for the question. That's it's not so easy to answer to the question because, in my opinion, I'm representing very traditional Roma group, and for us, the tradition is very important, and we can not understand why do you want to lose your beautiful tradition, your beautiful language, because we accept the situation that we are Roma. I'm proud for that situation, that our culture is very beautiful, very old, and yes, she is other like Polish or other culture, but she is very beautiful, and this is similar to like India old culture, you know, and why should we change and why we should lose our culture? In our group, we don't have this situation, and we don't want to assimilate. We want to make integration with the other groups, and we want to make cooperation with other groups, but we don't want to be assimilated, because in our opinion, that's always you always lose. You are not accepting one group, and you will be not accepting the second group, and you get nothing for that you are assimilate. But for us, it's very important the cooperation with groups and showing the beautiful Roma culture and how we are really, because that's important that the people don't know us and they make some opinion about the stereotype who is existing in the communities about our people. And we must show our true beautiful culture, how much we can do for not only for Europe, because you know we are in this moment the biggest minority in Europe. We are about 20 million, and that is a big number of people who are very very attractive, you know, in this time how economy is bad, how you don't have people to work. We can do it, but in the right way. Yes, we have groups in Poland that they are assimilate, and we saw the problems and we see the problems what they have. They are not accepted by the Roma community, you know, the other groups, because they are don't living with the Romani Pen Codex, and that's a big problem in the situation. But they are not accepted in the Polish community either, and you live, you know, like alone, and that's a big problem. You, when you are a human being, you almost all for us need some group to be together and to have the same ideology, to the same culture, and you feel well in the group. And that's not a problem with Roma. That's a problem with the other communities. They can understand what the true culture is, and we see that if the people are assimilate, they very often are poor. You know, not only poor economical, but poor like you know, metaphysic things. They are not have success. They are not proud of, from themselves. And we try to help them, and we try to learn them how to go back to the culture. That's very important for us here in Poland. Yes, that you should be. You have you be proud that you are Roma, that you are born like Roma, but show the true Roma culture, and that's very important. Not the stereotype, only the true thing.
Thank
Now,
you.
I think I see Mr. Rajesh Gogna. The floor is yours.
Sir, thank you very much for enlightening us about this important issue. But when Zameer told me that you are going to speak about the Ukrainian Romas refuged to other countries, but I came across a discussion posted by the United States Helsinki Commission about the attacks which on the Roma community in Ukraine 2018 onwards. So there were many ramifications of those attacks on Roma community. I just wanted, although it may be outskirts of this discussion, but can you tell us more about those attacks and why they accelerated after 2018?
Uh, Thank you for the question, and that's right now not popular, but yes, the discrimination of Roma people in Ukraine is a fact, and was a fact, and is right now a fact too, because we have some information that right now in the world, Roma people from Ukraine was. We have the knowledge about one family that is murdered in Ukraine from the Ukraine people, no, not from the Russia people, from the Ukraine. And we know about the situation. We try to inform that, yes, Russia is the aggression side, but we cannot allow to make so a big discrimination about their citizens, because the Roma from Ukraine are citizens of Ukraine, and you can act not so kind. They must pay money for the bomb shelters, and that's not okay with us. And we as inform, we try to make some report right now together with IOM, and we would like, but we need time to do it, and we would like to present this to the Parliament of Europe and the Commission of Europe, and because that's very important how Roma was discriminated in Ukraine, how the situation looks right now in Poland, because we have many of Roma refugees from Ukraine, and they are afraid that the same situation will happen in Poland, and we try to support them that the situation no come back. Yes, that's true. If you say the years before, the villages of Roma in Ukraine was burned, some people was killed, and with facts you can discuss with facts, and that was true. And we must talk about the situation that is hard, but we must try to change it. Right now is the moment to say no, that's not okay. Yes, we support you because we are helping not only the Roma refugees from Ukraine, we are helping the refugees generally. But yes, we want to take the tema and say, no, that's not okay that you are discriminate Roma in your country.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Punita, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. I'm always been very curious about the status of Roma in Poland. My question is about the Holocaust. I'm sorry to move to a somber subject, but just a few days ago was the International Holocaust Memorial Day. And I know that in Poland, especially in southern Poland, not only do we have the Auschwitz commemoration on August the 2nd, but there were also shootings that happened out in the fields and in the villages. And I know that Adam Bartosz does that caravan of memory. So I'm just wondering if you can tell us something more about what happened outside of the concentration camps, especially in Poland, because even some of my own Polish friends are not aware of all that the Roma went through during that period. So it would be good to know what you can tell us about that.
Yes, that's a very hard history things about the Holocaust, because I think that is not one of Roma person who the second war not take someone from their family, and that's very important to remember the people. And yes, we make some work with the governments, and we do some projects. We make some monuments in the places who who Roma people was killed, and we make some information, make some books about it, because that's very important history to remember our people who are murdered on the second war. Right now we have one of Roma, one of us is in the committee of Auschwitz, and he's a member of the board. And he works about the situation, about the thinking about the historical, showing the historical thing about the second war, and you know, the discrimination, and they are still live in Poland. They are not, you know, they was a little bit high underground. But right now, the Europe is standing very hard on the right side of the political scene. And yes, that is a problem with discrimination in Poland. But, you know, we in Poland are very good organized. And we are not so many like in Romania. And, you know, we are right now the most problems are, you know, not all are accepted that so many Ukrainians come to Poland, and that is a big problem right now in Poland. No, the Roma issues, it's not so you know, so much problem with that right now.
Thank you. Now I think Mr. Alexandru, the floor is yours.
Thank you. But I observed that Mr. Nikolic also has his hand raised, and I would like to offer him the word.
Thank you very much.
And after that, I can.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to only to say, bravo, great for this presentation. And if I analyze the situation with the Roma population in the Poland, I think that it's the similar in the whole Europe, the whole world. The Roma population are one of the youngest in the European Union, one of the bigger, but we have very bad history. We need to look for the future, to create common future. In all countries, we have various groups. Some Roma population from the bad history don't know Roma language. Some Roma told that who not speaking Roma language, he's not Roma. The situation is with Beash from Romania. They are speaking archaic Romanian language. They don't speaking Roma language. And some Roma in my country, in Serbia, who is not speaking Roma language, he's not Roma. For everybody is welcome who told that I'm Roma, who represent public that he's Roma. For my opinion, the quality of life has the minimum, we have a maximum. The Roma population gets possibility, the chance to start to be visible. It's very important to be unit, to understand each other's in the whole Europe, to create new power. My colleague told that inclusion of Roma is lungodrom, long way. We start to be visible. We need to choose the chance, possibility. European Union put the accent for the Roma population. Give possibility to create our identity, to be visible. Now, 50 years, 70 years, it's very, very small time for one nationality. In my surrounding, in Serbia, we have a Hungarian national minority. They celebrate 11 centuries of existing Hungarian nationality. What we are celebrate? Mention 11 centuries how that we go from India. The first World Congress was 1971. It's very small time. Every success, it's very important to create organization for community development, to put the support, the organization who is the Roma population, who is small villages, who is isolating, to give him possibility to start to be visible, to don't forget his identity, his language, his cultural, and to support common to create via Roma. That is Roma movement. That is for me.
Yes, I totally
Thank
agree
you.
that we must be visible and we must show our good practice. And you know, we have right now so many people they are good educated, and we have professors, we have doctors, and we must show the other communities our knowledge, and that's very important to cooperate. And
Yeah.
you know, when someone is born Roma, he is Roma, and even if he or she don't speak in our language or don't know our culture, but he or she is Roma. And when she wants to get back to the culture, the people must have someone who will teach them how to live in the Roma community. That's something different. To live in the community or to be Roma, because you know, when you don't know the language and you don't have any knowledge how to act with other Roma who lives with the culture, that always will be some problems. But if you want to do it, then you must have some place and some people who will tell you and who will learn you how to do it, and that's very important. How you say what Roma is, that's very nice for me, because we must have a much more horizon, yes, a highway, and we must not only show right now here, but we must see the future about what chance we want to give our kids. It's very important that they must go forward, and that they must have the possibility to do it right. And right now is the time that we can do it, because before we don't had these chances. And right now, yes, the world is a little bit open. The European political, not only Europe, and the India political are very interested how to support our diaspora here in Europe, and we must do it together, you know, and take the chance like you say.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Alexandru, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. Palkeravtuke, Mopral, Osasto, Avtuke Pakiv, Butshukar. I have more like a comment about what you said. You mentioned the stereotypes, and you actually said that this is a very important question. And in Romania, I'm from Romania, I'm Alexander from Romania, we also have this problem of misunderstanding and this stereotype image of Roma. And for example, in schools, when there is an event like 8th of April, or for example, now on the 20th of February in Romania, we commemorate the abolition of slavery in Romania, because in Romania, Roma people were slaves, unfortunately. And even then, the image of Roma is represented by some stereotypes, music, clothes, dancing, and other stuff, unfortunately. So how do you think we can change this? How do you think we can fight against this image and to show to the others in Romania, in Poland, and other countries from Europe and from all over the world, the true image of the Roma people?
Thank you for the question, Alexandru. This is not so easy to. This is no one way, because that's not so easy to change a stereotype, because that will be always exist. But we must fight for it. That will be a little bit small sizes, like in this moment. And you know, what you did before, it was a perfect example of culture, because Mr. Steven Nikolic is a little bit older, and you give him the floor first. That's Roma culture. That's what I talked before. That's respect for a little bit older people like us. And thank you for that. And you know, you don't must talk in Roma language with me, and I know that you are Roma, and that was the you know, only one small thing. And I think that it's a beautiful that we give respect the older people, and we must show the others, like Romania, like in Poland, like in each of the countries, our good sides. You know, the people only know the stereotypes about us, but they don't know the they don't have the really knowledge about really our culture. But from where should they get the information? Not only for us. And we must do it, you know, I don't know, some training, some studies, and learning, education, one more education from both sides. We must show, you know, the same situation is in each of the countries, because the Roma don't really feel that you know, the other people, like the Polish, they have their culture. They see some acts and they don't have culture. They are, you know, they forget their culture. They're not true. You know, they have their culture. We have our cultures. They're a little bit different, but they similarly most important for each of the side. And we only must educate us and them about the true values about our culture. That's very important.
Yeah,
but that's a big way, you know, move wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm totally agree with you that the education it's a key factor, but also to make it like institutional and to put the Romani values, the Romani history in schools.
Yes, and we must learn too, you know, we must learn too, because if you live in some country, you must know some history of the country and some culture to act well with them. Not only your, but, you know, don't change. I'm a very traditional Roma, you know, but I'm not blind. And I live in the New Europe, and I try to do it right, and that's better for each of sides. It's only win-win. The situation win-win. That is perfect.
Carla, мы cam after cliquer yet Renais presentation. I think it's very important for everything, because we know that now in Europe, from the 5th year to the 15th, and now there are some special programs for the Roma. But for very understandable reasons, we don't have any programs for Roma in Russia, you understand? But now I'm staying in Bulgaria, and as far as I see, there are some contradictions. So these programs have contradictional results, really. And as far as I can see, the progress they're providing for a different opportunity for their children are mainly given by the parents of the Romani children and by the Roma themselves. What do you think? What do you think of this subject?
I always have a little bit problem with the programs who are made by not Roma for Roma, because, you know, we should be employed for doing this together with the Commission of Europe or the Parliament of the European Parliament, because if you do something for Roma and the Roma knowledge is not included there, they often the program is not working. And we see that big money goes for the Roma issues, but really don't lose any problems about the situation in Roma, because the Roma are not included. Maybe there are some statists who are working with the governments, but not really the people who are experts in the sites, you know. Because if you are an expert, you should be listening how the program should be made, and that's very important. Right now, how I said before, and Zema will do the interview, we are our organization in the practice in the sector protection in the HCR, and we work together, and we have we are the experts. We Roma are the experts how to support Roma refugees, or not only refugees, and that's very important. That in each of the country you should be expert for the governments. What program do you really want? Because, you know, some Roma, some statists can say, yes, we want to be assimilated. Please, we don't have our language, we don't have any culture. We want to be like you. You know, obvious that's a lie. You know, but the government have, you know, some opinion about Roma. Yes, your people think that we want this. That's not true.
Certainly, you're right.
Yes, when you say, oh, we have here a few Romas, yes, and all of you talks in Romani language. And you know, you are from other country, Alexandru, Stephen is from other country, on Orhan, and we, when you talk in Roma, I understand you all. I better should do my presentation in Roma language. That will be much more easy for me, and I will be much more understanding by you. But you know, we need to cooperate together, and we make some programs really who you know goes to the Roma who are Roma. Not only for the people who you know want some money and don't want to change the situation. That's my opinion about the programs. That for Roma is a big funds, but they don't really go to the places they should go.
Yeah, I can add only that, for example, in Russia, there are not any special programs in education for Roma, but in such schools, when sometimes you can find a director of the Roma origin, there are not any problem with the Roma education.
Yes, I remember some situation that in one of the not so big cities, I don't remember the name of the city, the police was, you know, very discriminate Roma people because the Roma take the gas from, you know, stealing the gas, but they don't have any chances because they village they live, they were not prepared to take the gas, you know, because this was Roma. And we make, that was few years before the war, and we make like International Romanian Union some resolution to put in to show him the situation, because you know Russia is a big country, and they have do a good work because they have put the Roma in, you know, in the system. And right now they don't steal it, they take it and they pay for that. But for the moment was that's not impossible. Then, you know, that is a very, I think that we need experts in each country, in Russia, in Romania, in, I don't know, in each of European country, that should be a group of Roma who are supporting the governments, what really they should do for the communities in the countries. That's very important. And we should have some experts on the international level by the EU Parliament to show them the programs, the strategy, not only for here, but for, I don't know, 10 or more years, how to help and support well Roma.
Nice, Prala, nice.
Thank you very much. I think now we may have the last question. I see Stephen. Would you like to make additional comment? Because I see your hand.
Only one constatation. The Roma movement, we haven't Roma population, we haven't political and economic power. When another side look us, we are on the floor, very small period. And they look at us, the stereotype. They are here. They don't understand what we need. They don't give us possibility to listen our voice. This moment, if we make a Roma movement, we have possibility step by step to send the message from our mouths to the government, to the decision maker. That is process. That process for me is 2 generations, 20, 30, 40 years. It's a very, that is reason that I say that inclusion of Roma is long, it's long way. I measure from 2 generations. If one second generation go to the social to be poor, the 3rd generation is be also poor if they didn't get possibility support from outside. Not help, humanitarian help, support to be stronger, to be visible. That is.
Yes, that's obvious, and thank you for the commenter. And if I can make one of my own, you know, when the Polish people see me or your people see you, they don't try to like Roma because you don't pass to the stereotype they have. You know, they think, no, you are assimilate, you are not Roma, you are Polish citizen. I say, no, I'm Roma. I'm live in Poland for centuries. My clan lives here. I was born here, but I'm Roma. I have my culture, but I don't pass today's stereotype, you know. And that's the problem, that we must make the education that not only Roma must be poor, not working, not good educated, and etc., etc., etc. And that's the problem. They don't really feel our community, that we have some other people. They think that when you have go forward, then you are assimilated, and that's a big problem that we should fight with that, and show them, no, I'm a professor, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I don't know who, I am businessman, but I am still a Roma. And that's very important for us to be showing, like you say, but we must show the other people, the other nation, what we have to offer to them, and we have something to offer to them.
Thank you very much. With this, we come to the conclusion. And I must thank our speaker, who had really gave a very informative and educative presentation. And what was important, that we had a very good interaction with the other participants who gave very useful suggestions and how to deal with the issue of stereotype, and how to improve the status of the Roma, maybe the next generation and maybe also the present generation. And the way the involvement of the governments and involvement of the organizations, involvement of the educators and other people is required. And in this, I would like to also add that our Center for Roma Studies, we are working on a project to bring about certain books on Roma icon, historical as well as the present one. Because we believe that, as Karol was mentioning, it is very important for the Romas and also other people to know that Roma have done, or they have done something which is worth understanding, and that will go a long way in removing the stereotype image of the Roma community. So we are working on that, and we would really appreciate to receive your views and your comments on that, because we may not have the list of all the important Romas who have contributed to the development or in some field in the world. So we will look forward to your suggestions. We do have some inputs, but this we would like to continue as a continuing exercise by bringing out short booklets about important Roma personalities. So with this, I would like to thank all the participants who found time from their busy schedule to attend the presentation and share their views and give very interesting comments, which will be very useful. And as we had mentioned earlier, we would be bringing out a book covering all the lectures of our monthly lectures, which will go a long way in helping not only non-Romas, but Romas also to know about situation of Romas in different parts of the world. So with this, I would like to thank you all, and would request you to consider joining us for our future lectures. And please keep in touch. This is a very useful exercise for us. And I would also like to mention that we are trying to work out a directory of Roma's institutions, organizations, and important persons. So Zameer is already working on that, and he has a large number of data. So any additional data would be always useful. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And with this, we close the presentation. Once again, thank you to Karol.
Thank you all. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you for inviting me, and see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Karol.
Thank you so much for the organization.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Steven.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Naziri. Thank you, Alexander. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
See you in the next lecture. Bye. Take care.